We are live. Everybody, as you know, it's me, Queen PR, one half of those wrestling girls. Shout out to Krista B. And I am joined for a very special live presentation that I hope becomes a regular thing with a channel that I've been obsessed with for I don't even know how long now. And we have been waiting to collaborate for a very, very long time. So I'm actually going to let everyone introduce themselves. I'm going to start with you, Damien. Hi.
Hey, girl. So good seeing you. Yes.
Yes.
I'm Damien. I am the creator of We Watch Women's Wrestling because we don't just watch wrestling, we watch women's wrestling. So I'm broadcasting from Virginia. We just had like a lovely little snowstorm. Now the sun's melting it all away. About to start this little football gig or this little weekend concert tonight. And I'm really excited to be here. I'm so excited to meet the other people on here, and of course have people, alumni from the We Watch Women's Wrestling channel joining us. Yes. So with that being said, I guess I'll let you take it away, Mimi, to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Damien, my love. So, hello, everybody. My name is Mimi Shelton. I use like she and they pronouns. I always feel the need to say my pronouns interchangeably. I am a Black trans woman from the South. That's my good best friend right there, Damian Blewett at We Watch Women's Wrestling. It's lit. It's live. We love her drive. We love his drive. He does it all, and we live for him. As for me, I live in New York City. I work for the Bronx LGBTQ Center. I'm a grant director, a writer, researcher, editor. I'm not going to give away all my profiles and stuff because, to be honest, I'm private and I like to keep my privacy online to curate my stuff. But
I know that's right.
You always can find me at mimi@destinationtomorrow.org. Also, you can look up Destination Tomorrow if you happen to find yourself in the Bronx or in the New York City area and you need grant funds, if you need resources in terms of HIV testing, intakes, referral services, social work services, housing, step through our doors. We're here for you, especially if you are Black and Brown, TGNC, GNB. So that's a little bit about me. And I also, on the side, love women's wrestling, honey.
Yes.
Bianca Belair. We love Sasha Banks. We live for the glow up of the women, especially the Black women today. So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah.
Now pass it over to Audrey.
Hi. Hi, my name's Adriana, aka Audrey. I am an artist. You can find me on Instagram. My artist page is Audrey Kanrana. It's a play on the words of her Karana.
Yes.
And my personal account is Audrey Padre. And you can also find me on Twitter at Audrey Padre. I'm mostly bullshitting about wrestling over there. Yeah, and I mostly just watch women's wrestling. So
yes, we really do. And so Audrey, you come to our watch party. We have been Bella Army, Bella Book Club homies for a while now. So I'm glad that we're finally able to like collaborate this way. So this is fun. And so I'm always looking for another excuse to talk about women's wrestling. So I always wanted to do always. It's like always a reason to. And I wanted to always do a monthly recap show. So I felt like this was a great way to collaborate with everyone I wanted to collaborate with and basically just talk shit about women's wrestling. Because like,
right.
Like, why not? So I wanted to start with something that I've been thinking about because it's Black History Month. Shout out to that. And Black queens are really killing it right now in WWE. We got Sasha as SmackDown Women's Champion. We got Bianca Belair, 2021 Royal Rumble winner. And we're going to get to Bianca because, you know, we can go on and on about her.
On and on. I can't wait.
I'm on my own, honey. Against the wall, honey.
So one thing bothered me. So I was watching SmackDown last night, and Sasha came out. The Bianca Belair Sasha confrontation, I guess, finally happened, and something else was going on wrestling Twitter. You know, it's always something. So you guys familiar with Kiera Hogan?
Never heard of her.
Okay,
not a single bit.
So, yes. So do you guys want to let Mimi know who Kiera Hogan is?
Yes, she's from Impact, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
she's actually women's tag team champions over there. Like they just brought the women's tag team championship back over on
Dope.
Impact Wrestling, and her and I do not know who her tag team partner is. They won the tag team championship.
Nice. Does anyone watch Impact? Like
I
that?
haven't watched Impact.
I
since,
like vaguely
2011.
pay attention to it.
I've tried. I've tried.
I haven't watched Impact since 2011.
Well, then probably TNA at that point too. Like,
Yeah. Well, I feel like they were doing more for the women back then. I feel like they had a women's evolution long before WWE did, and it was just a lot more hardcore back then, and now it seems a lot more watered down in a way.
Totally. I'm like seeing a lot of that come up in the conversation on Twitter and, just on Instagram. And to myself, I've only featured like a very small amount of like Impact or TNA wrestling matches on my channel where we like watch them. And like legitimately, I am watching those for the first time with whoever. And so there is like something inside of me that like wants to go back and like revisit what TNA did. Cause I don't want to just like, just kind of disregard those women and what they did because they clearly did. They just didn't have like, WWE is like a freaking powerhouse. They didn't just have the backing. So they never grabbed my attention. But I've always seen her things in there. But go ahead with Mimi here. Kiera Hogan. She's from Impact.
Yeah, so she's actually a tag team champion. I don't know if we mentioned it, but she's tag team champion right now with Tasha Steele. I was happy about that. More Black Girl Magic, Fire Influence. Yeah, shout out to JJ on YouTube. She's been family of the show for a long time too. So long story short, it has been a while that Kiera Hogan has sort of kind of accused Sasha of stealing her look. They both have blue hair. So this was Sasha Banks' outfit on Friday night. Okay. And she looked amazing as per usual.
Play. She was eating it up.
Can we just briefly say how she wore Louis Vuitton at the Royal Rumble?
I love her.
Yes. Like casually.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's like literally look at how I bodied that, ate it up, and gave it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now I gotta pull that up. So you guys see what Sasha was wearing Friday? Black, very cute spin. That
a little latex number. She's literally giving us like Attitude Era every fucking week.
Oh god, she totally is. So then Kiera Hogan tweeted basically insinuating that she was copying her look. So this was what she tweeted.
So you know that meme where like it says like what you got online and what came in the mail? Like you bought Sasha Banks online. Because I don't really see a similarity at all.
I really don't.
No.
You know what I feel? Honestly, how I feel is because this is a very similar conversation to what I see happening to Black female rappers all the time, right?
Yes.
It's like when we exist, and I mean Black women because I'm a Black trans woman, right? In my transition, and like, I know I'm not a woman of cis experience, but I also know what it's like to be a Black woman or to see Black women raised in this world. And for a very fact, I think that even no matter what ecosystem or what kind of institution Black women exist in, we're constantly, and this goes back to slavery, I kid you not, it's like in the research, it goes back to the, time of Jim Crow segregation. And even today, Black women are historically, socially, politically pitted against one another, no matter and brown women, no matter in what ecosystem, because there's so few spots for us, because we're so overlooked, so undervalued, so underappreciated.
Yes.
And what's so sad is we often come through and slay it. Like, come on, you can't tell me Naomi wasn't eating it up in the ring all the time when she entered, right? You can't tell me that Sasha hasn't eaten it up since she started. You can't tell me that. Because the thing is, we have to stay exceptional. Bianca would have never made it where she was if she couldn't spit on the mic, eat it up in the ring, and have sick music and sew her outfits. And that expectation, look at her versus look at Lana, right? And I'm not starting to stop Lana, but I think like when we put a white woman who's been given so many spotlight opportunities and has failed them all the time against a woman who constantly is eating it up in the ring like Bianca, because they both kind of exist now around the same era, it's sad to watch. I mean, I love Bianca and I love Lana too. Don't get me wrong. I just find that the conversation about Black women pitting each other against each other, you know, on Twitter and saying you ripped off this, it's like, it's sad that we are inundated so often with so many different ways in which we can only be this person or this archetype or this stereotype. And if we try to do anything else and we happen to copy someone else's stuff or be influenced by someone else's stuff, whoever did it first, immediately, if it's put in the spotlight, either we or either someone else exercises a sense of pride and they exercise a sense of, you know, let's see how we can pit these women against one another to let them push themselves out of the ecosystem, right? Let them expose who they really are, because they're just talentless, you know, media drama starters rather than, you know, women who really slam the game. So even though I don't take anything away from Kiera Hogan, right? Because I'm never gonna stop. I'm here for everyone Black, especially women, right? She's probably super talented. No tea, no shade, no pink lemonade. I'm always a Sasha fan. Because I've seen Sasha grow, you know, and I live for her. Yeah. And so I'm not going to stop loving her. And
it's just bottom line, like the pettiness and like I don't know, because this isn't the first time we've seen this happen, especially with women of color. We had just a few years ago when Naomi was kind of attacked in the same way by MJ Jenkins. And, you know, like, I don't know, let's build it. I don't know, like, I love that, Mimi, you're taking the conversation where you took it, because, like, that is the real conversation. Like, lift each other up.
Especially make that choice.
Lift each other up.
But that's the choice that you should have made, and that's what's disappointing about the whole situation. Is like, instead of in that moment that, okay, maybe that look was similar to one of your looks, instead of being like, yes, Sasha, you killed it, I had that same outfit, yes, you chose to then shade her instead, when honestly I highly doubt Sasha Banks is thinking about you, like, and like, you're killing it right now, you're a champion, like, so why are you,
what does she have to take? Exactly, PR. Like, what does she have to take away from it?
Hello.
Hi.
It's just like,
how are you?
Good.
Yeah.
So I was listening to the conversation and I had to jump in. Like, I really was about to take a nap, but I was like, nah, I had to jump in on this because, one, of course, I'm always going to support PR. Love you, boo.
Thanks.
Secondly, you're right. Like, Kiera Hogan and Sasha Banks, especially at a time like this, should not be going at it against each other, period. It's bad enough, like, because we're Black women, we're always pit against each other due to the color of our skin, who wears the flyest stuff, who can actually put more into doing what you're doing. Like, y'all could be doing the same exact thing, and oh, this one is doing it better. How come you're not like her? We're always being compared. And because we're being compared, it makes us competitive. And because we're being competitive, we don't really see a sisterhood. So for Kiera Hogan to sit here and say that Sasha stole her look, it's just, it takes you back. Like you become taken aback because you fight for a sisterhood. You fight to see this. Like in the pictures after Bianca won a Rumble, like you saw the camaraderie and celebrating her and things of that nature.
It's gorgeous.
Right. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. And in a day and age where we have to really sit here and really think on if we should support our fellow sister is just mind-boggling to me.
Thank you. I mean, thank you for that. I'm Mimi, by the way. And I just feel like, you know, exactly. Yes. And it's like, yes. And I was looking at the Rumble Sunday and I was so inspired. I mean, those are my superheroes. You know what I mean? I'm inspired by these women. And to watch Bianca and Naomi and their little moment of like falling out the ring and then lifting each other up. Like, yeah, that's sisterhood, right?
That is.
They're laying a path for one another. And you see those women loving on each other. And I think we can't exist as Black women, as women of color anymore. It just won't serve us. So we have to create room in the ecosystem for us to lift each other up. We can't keep limiting the ecosystem no matter where we are. We have to expand it because there's room for all of us and we're all talented. And as Miss Aretha Franklin said, we are young, gifted, and Black, honey. And all we need is our soul intact.
No, that was Nina Simone who said that.
Thank
But
you.
Got it.
You know. Thank you.
Mhm.
Ashe.
I love it. So I want to share what the vibe I feel like all Black women should be at this point. Not how this is the vibe I feel like we all need to be on. Like Sasha Banks posted this on her Instagram with all the Black women from Royal Rumble. And it's like, that is what we need to be doing right now, not compete. Because if you notice, every Black girl, and I also would love to hear Audrey's thoughts on this as well, every Black girl got compared to the one previous. Like they were, as soon as Bianca came out, oh, she's trying to be, comparing her to Sasha Banks. And I'm like, pay attention. Like, Bianca is nothing like Sasha Banks. Like,
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
I'm mad that they even can sit here and try to compare something like that. Like everybody is talented in their own way. Mm-hmm. Like Sasha Banks threw me for a loop even for her days in NXT, the Iron Women matches, the takeover at NXT, her constant feud with Charlotte. Those were her best matches for me. Like she still goes above and beyond, but those matches with Charlotte, particularly. When they did that I Quit match or the Falls Count Anywhere match and Sasha made Charlotte tap when she put her through the barricade. Like, it's those moments. I'm just like, yo, yes, Black women rising, go Black queen. Like, you see us, like you represent us. Like, you really helped me get through my frustrations when you beating the living hell out of somebody else. Because I know I can't do it.
Thank you, yes.
Because I know I can't do it. And we all know I would love to beat the hell out of somebody sometimes, but I can look at them and say, okay, my frustrations is gone. Like you just beat them for me. And it's like an ongoing cheering process. Like you always got to root for those who look like you.
Yeah. It's cathartic. It's like, we have this vicarious experience through them. At least I do. Like you said, when I see Naomi putting her foot in somebody's neck, girl, get it. Get them girls, because if I do it, like it could mean a different kind.
The outcome could be different. Yep, the outcome would be different.
Yep, I agree. So can we talk? I found the pic. Can we talk about Sasha's Louis?
I love that outfit.
Like she is just like killing it on a whole nother level. Like
whole other level.
Yes.
Like the boots. Has anyone ever, like, any women come to the ring in designer gear yet? Or is Sasha the first?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think it's just Sasha so far.
Yeah, I think Lana, but Sasha's the first in terms of woman of color. But like, I think Lana may have had some stuff, but I'm not sure. I'm just speculating.
Okay.
She had some designer dresses. She never actually wrestled in like designer gear though. I think Sasha is the first to ever have like custom designer wrestling gear.
First.
She's the best. She's the best.
Okay, she's really killing it. Honestly, she's just killing it everywhere. Like I remember, like I grew up as a Star Wars fan and wrestling fan, so to see Sasha Banks enter the Star Wars realm, like that's really amazing. And I think it brought a lot of wrestling fans into watching The Mandalorian, and maybe even like Mandalorian fans and Star Wars fans into watching wrestling. So that was a very big crossover, I think, and the fact that it was Sasha Banks. And I feel like she's really like the first woman to, in, you know, like wrestling and WWE to really get like such a big part like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's amazing.
It makes me like so inspired, you know, to chase my own dreams, to be like, things can change. Because you see, if WWE can change in the, you know, decade or so, maybe even more that I've been watching it, like anything can be possible, you know? And it really can inspire a girl to feel good. And like, I felt great even through all the rough week that I've had. I felt great knowing that Bianca's glowing up, you know? That is an expectation that there may be a Sasha Banks Bianca Belair match at WrestleMania. Do you know how excited I am? Like that makes me so good. And
but I wouldn't mind like Bianca being Raw Women's Champion and then Sasha being SmackDown Women's Champion. Just like
that would be amazing.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I want Sasha and Bianca, I'm kind of like, ooh, like Sasha, like it's like the fucking cake, like queendom.
Yeah.
Like,
I
love
wouldn't
it.
mind that because they have tag teamed, and I like that gave me so much life. Them against each other is also dope. But all right, so I guess this is
I just see it as one queen passing the torch to another queen. You understand? Like, especially because we had it's Black History Month, Women's History Month is next month. You know, it's not a lot of them. And I feel like being the direction that it's going to, I feel like people would have a problem if Sasha Banks lost it to somebody at this very moment. And please excuse me, I'm about to say who is Black. You understand? Like, it's like we just trying to raise the bar for Black women, Black wrestlers, Black entertainers. So why not continue to give into your own? It's like buying in your own community. You understand? Like when we had that strike, everybody's like, we're going to buy Black and stuff of that nature.
Yes.
It's doing that in the world of wrestling because we don't see that as often. Like when you look at Attitude Era, we only had Jackie. Who did she pass it? Who did she have to give it off to? It was either Trish, Lita, China. You understand? Like she was the minority. Of course, she's a minority, but she was the minority. So now when we have more of us coming in to fight for that brass ring, it's our turn. It's our time to take it.
Yep, and we can pass the torch to who we need to because we know it's that more girls are coming behind us, right? We got foot soldiers, as they say in other ways, that are going to come up behind us. So maybe, and I think I read very theoretically a lot of different stuff, and I think, I took a good saying away. We have to think about the future and about the work we do here on Earth, no matter who we are, as it being a part of a larger vision for humanity. And I think about that in every piece of way that I do things and in every institution and in every experience. So I feel the same way as, call it anything you want to. I'm glad that I'm seeing that kind of conversation being started, at least in an action with these women in WWE. They have the opportunity to begin to look toward building a vision of the future that is inclusive of women of color. And I'm excited for the looks because these women are serving gear, honey. They are serving ring gear.
Yes. Honestly, I love it. So, okay, everyone here was rooting for Bianca to win the Royal Rumble, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question that I would love to know. If not Bianca, then like who else would you have been okay with winning the Rumble? Because I saw a lot of people, a lot of Naomi fans, and we're all Naomi fans, saying like kind of disappointed that she's not getting more shine, since she's come back, and like now Bianca's kind of been pushed in this way. I would love to know what you guys think. Audrey, you want to start?
Who I would have been okay with winning if it wasn't Bianca.
Yes.
I would have been okay with Naomi. She was like the second. That was probably the only other person I would have been okay with winning. Anyone else, I'd be like, oh, screw this. I'm not watching anymore. That's it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one.
Yes.
Those were my two top. I'm very, very happy that they had it be Bianca because when it was Bianca and Rhea, I'm like, oh my God, please don't screw this up. Please don't screw this up. But because it was like it's Bianca's time. It's like you put other women before her way too much. And it's like, and if you were gonna put Rhea before her again, I was gonna be fuming. I like Rhea Ripley well enough, but what they did to Bianca Belair in NXT just to put Rhea over, that was not okay with me.
Why do I have this strange feeling? And I really don't even want to say this.
I know what you're going to say.
I know what she's going to say too.
Because it's just like, because you just made that point of how they shafted her in NXT. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, she bet not. Ain't no way.
Don't say it.
Ain't no way. I'm not going to say it, but being that y'all know, I don't have to say it. But I just hope not.
Yeah. They better put her over.
Wait, can you say it though? Because I don't know.
I'm gonna text you, sis. I'm gonna text you. We're not gonna speak that negativity out in the atmosphere.
Okay. Oh God, do it got something to do with multi-time champion?
Girl, I'm gonna need you to listen one more time, okay? Audrey just said that they shafted Bianca in NXT to put Rhea over. Yeah. Okay. All right.
She was just on a little time delay. It was clicking.
Yeah.
I just needed like a little bit more time. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's not even go there. 'Cause
Right. I'm honestly
Yeah.
so happy. It could have been anybody. Like, not it could have been. Like, obviously, Naomi was my like second choice, my first choice. But I was so happy they did like a squash throw out on Alexa Bliss because I was going to literally not watch.
I was nervous. I was nervous.
Me too.
I'm not gonna lie.
But I'm glad they got her out there, and they were like, I was like, oh, bitch, she's gonna be using her magic powers, and the people are just gonna be flying out left and right, and then she's gonna win. And they were like, bloop, 2 minutes. I was like, I mean, I think maybe right. I was like more excited about that than, well, not about Tori Wilson entering, but I was like more excited about that. Like I was just like, yeah, she's gone. Like it's anybody's game now, and I was like super hyped. And then I really wanted Naomi to win. Obviously, like that is like my number one. Like love her. But her being number 2 and her being the Iron Woman was like another just like, because they do disrespect her so much, but it was like another like respect in the book of like, here you're getting this, you know what I mean? It's just set, it's like giving her more. I love that. And you know, obviously her spots with Bianca and a few of the other girls were amazing. But I'm so happy Bianca won. Like that's it. Done.
I think overall this is probably one of the best Rumbles.
Agreed.
Like just like even her interaction with Naomi and them doing like the braid thing, like that was just like so amazing. Like
yeah, the first Rumble is always going to be the favorite Rumble because it was the first one. But if you take that away, this one, invested.
I'll tell you all mine, and then I gotta hop off because I'm gonna go finish packing. But for me, I see wrestling. I'm emotionally attached like everyone else. So of course I was Bianca 100%. But I also see multiple possibilities and outcomes whenever I watch a show. And so I could have seen this going like several directions. Like there were times when I saw and feared, like Damien, that like they were trying to, you know, put Alexa over again and like do some weird evolution and then have her go up against Asuka. I could have seen Charlotte Flair winning again, and you know it being some first 2-time ever. You know, I could have seen them putting over Rhea again. There was a time when I was like, "Ooh, here we go again." I saw them even with Naomi because I was like, why would they have Naomi come back if not? So I kept that in, but I was Bianca all the way, and it only conferred more and more for me that she was going to win, or affirmed it, I should say, as she like got closer and closer. And I was like, you know what? This is beautiful. So you all have the best day. Thank you for welcoming
me. You too, Mimi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for being her, boo. I'll FaceTime you later.
Please. Love you,
girl.
Love you too. Nice to meet you all.
You too. I'm glad that Rhea and Bianca were the final 2, though. And I do hate that it took both of them to eliminate Charlotte. Like, I'm so fucking over Charlotte. I don't know how y'all feeling about her lately, but...
Wait, I wanted to say... when it came up to Bianca, and every time like they would fight and they would try to eliminate each other, I'd be like, what are y'all doing? Like, why are y'all trying to eliminate each other? Like, I get it's Royal Rumble, but don't eliminate each other. Like, but the whole braid thing, like when Naomi feet didn't touch the floor and, you know, Bianca Belair's braid, I was just like, how is Naomi gonna get up from this? Like, how is she? And you hear Bianca like, you pulling on my braid, you da-da-da-da. Like, you never touch a black woman hair. I'm just saying. But
even another woman.
I mean, I think that's kind of okay if you're, you know, you got that relationship. But it was just good to see like they came back up together, whatever. I was happy to see Rhea. I was happy to see that picture of Charlotte, Rhea, and Bianca in the ring. Because it brought us back to when Charlotte came on NXT and the famous "You don't even go here" came about.
Yes.
So it was like a full circle moment. I was happy that it took Bianca and Rhea to eliminate Charlotte, because it was just like a sign of, we run this now. Mm-hmm. These NXT girls, even though Bianca's been called up since last year, these NXT girls run this. This is no longer your ring. This is our turf. So it was good to see that happen. But like I'm Team Bianca. Literally, as soon as she won, I literally contacted her. I was just like, "Oh my gosh, congratulations!" Like, it was a good moment that I had with Bianca. Like, in speaking with her, it was a good moment that I had with her, and it was just like, this is what we fought for.
Yeah.
Not even like women of color. This is what we fought for. To see somebody first time ever making history to kick off Black History Month. Like it was definitely what we wanted to see.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I just realized? Bianca is the first non-women's champion to win the Royal Rumble. All of the other ones have been champions before.
Oh my God, good point. That is a really awesome fun fact because like this could literally be her like road to like it feels like how Royal Rumble used to feel where it was like an avenue for like that new person to like get some shine. And it's like she has to.
Yeah,
she's
going all the way.
Wait, Asuka was champion before she won Royal Rumble.
She was NXT Women's Champion. I mean,
right.
Has never been a champion in WWE at all. Like, Asuka had at least at that point been NXT Women's Champion, and she had her undefeated streak at that point. So, at that point, Asuka was just champion of everything. It felt like, but Bianca is the first one who has never held a championship in NXT or WWE to win the Women's Royal Rumble.
Okay.
I love it.
So do you guys want her to challenge Sasha for sure, right?
Yeah, that's history right there.
That's what I want. And I feel like if Bianca were to beat Sasha, it would be okay. Like if it were anybody else to beat Sasha at WrestleMania, probably wouldn't feel okay. But with Bianca, it feels like it would be a very special moment and it would be okay for Sasha.
Yeah, I agree. And I have no interest, no shade, but I have no like desire to see Asuka versus Bianca. Like it just doesn't do anything for like my soul. Like it just doesn't do anything for me. Yeah. So what's next for Rhea Ripley though? Because I feel like it's like they push her and then they don't push her, and it's just like, what's next for her?
She's getting called up to Raw.
She might challenge.
Yeah, she seems like Raw girl.
She's a Raw girl more so than a SmackDown girl.
Yeah,
she's getting called up to Raw.
Yeah,
I just see like Vince like loving her, or who like mainly probably Triple H mainly now in the back, but like I don't know. She has this very like Raw attitude. Like I hope she gets, a good push, and I mean,
yeah, because it does suck. Also, what ended up happening to Rhea in NXT, and I will never stop laughing at Triple H trying to blame it on the pandemic about her lack of push in the end. I'm there's no reason not to push her, because that's why they had her lose to Charlotte. It was they blamed it on the pandemic. I'm like, that's not a reason. I'm like, that's not a good reason. That's why, like, in ways, like, I'm kind of glad Bianca didn't end up getting the NXT Women's Championship, because that could have ended up happening to her, and that would really sucked.
Oh, nobody would have been happy about that. Speaking of things that nobody would have been happy about, and this is so random, but they were promoting Hulk Hogan for SmackDown to celebrate the 33-year anniversary of WrestleMania 3 with Andre.
That wasn't WrestleMania 3. That was main event. It wasn't even WrestleMania 3. It was main event. The very first match they had.
Saturday morning main event?
Yes. Yes. Oh, it's a sound off coming tonight. I'm doing that sound off. Like, we don't even got to talk about it.
Yeah, let's not.
We don't even got to. I thought it was WrestleMania 3. I'm like, all right, cool. WrestleMania 3.
Hulk Hogan.
Like, and then you play main event, and then when you do your promo, no mind. Wait for the sound off, y'all, because it's coming tonight.
Yeah, I don't even honestly know what to say about that. And I noticed they only showed like 30 seconds of it. Like they were barely on, because I think they finally was like, okay.
Yeah, I think they realized we're really big on Hulk Hogan.
No, not at all.
And it's like I don't
Not
really
at all.
know anybody who is anymore. Like who's
Right?
really Hulk
I'm
Hogan?
shocked they had him on the bump just like before the Rumble or like maybe the pre-show. I'm not sure. I just remember him popping up and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like,
The
why?
fact that he's still there and they're still trying to make him relevant, like they just need to pay him out, let him really
For
retire.
real.
Because the only reason why you see these legends who come back is when, you know, you're kind of down on your luck and you need money.
Yeah.
Like Hulk Hogan been to court how many times for that whole what was that Gothard, that whatever the thing was with that whole sexual assault, harassment and stuff.
Mhm.
He's been to court. He's cleaned out. Okay,
Just give him some money and tell him to
just
leave.
give him some money and don't have to come.
At home, nobody wants to see Hulk Hogan.
You WrestleMania 35. You open with Alexa Bliss. Like nobody. I really feel like when I was there, his music hit, and not even half of that stadium cheered for Hulk when I was there. In like,
It's
I feel
over.
like-
It's been
yeah.
over.
It's
Yeah.
been over for him. Exactly. It's been over for him a long time ago. Like he lost the respect of wrestling fans
Mhm.
like a long time ago. And I think it really started when the real life stuff was happening between him and Macho Man Randy Savage. And Macho Man Randy Savage made like his rap album, and it was just like a whole diss track against Hulk Hogan.
So many things about that Dulce Right would be like
Oh my
rap
God.
album.
I just remember watching this video of Macho Man Randy Savage just freaking destroying Hulk Hogan. He's like, he's a coward. He's a
I just
loser.
recently came across
And I'm
that, too.
like, nice.
Wait, so speaking of legends, though, I have to know y'all reaction when this person. I don't know how y'all feel about this person, but I like marked out when this happened.
Oh my God, I think I know who it is.
Or did y'all like
Jillian, yes.
Jillian Billy.
I appreciated it.
Yeah.
She's I don't know if you've been following her. I have recently, and she's been having like a rough time, like with her baby daddy, and she's just going through some stuff like we all do. And I appreciated it because I know she's getting like a nice check for this, obviously. And people love Jillian.
Yes.
She was like the Divas champion for 35 minutes. She comes out singing horribly, like this really bad ripoff of Britney. Like it's really good. Like, you know what I mean? She is wrestling, and I appreciated it. I love seeing her.
Yeah.
And she was the Billy and Jilly thing. That was like so adorable. Like Billy Kay is like becoming like the shit in my eyes. Like I'm loving her.
Oh, Billy Kay. She is. I always preferred Billy over Peyton. Not that I love the Iconics. Don't
Same.
even get me started. But I was confused but then I remember Peyton's look. I was like, why are they choosing Peyton to push out of, like, they're missing everything in Billy Kay.
Mm.
Yeah.
Kristen,
Who eliminated Jillian Hall?
that's a good question. Maybe, I don't
I
know.
can't remember. I just remember being
Guys,
like,
let us know who eliminated Jillian at the Rumble, because I do not remember.
I don't remember either.
the one thing, the takeaway though that's unfortunate is I wish, like, you know, especially for like Victoria and Jillian, because it was her first Rumble, like the audience being there. I mean, I know they still, I mean, obviously it's adrenaline, like you're on like a live set. It's like, you know, all these, whatever. But I really was like, oh, afterwards, after like all the excitement, I was like, oh, it's a little bittersweet because these girls didn't really get like what they used to get coming out to live crowds, like thousands of people. But
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to hear what they like felt like the difference was.
Yeah. Yeah, because they were like everyone else in WWE and that's wrestling right now is kind of used to it a little bit. So I would love to hear from like the legends, like how it was to really go out to like no crowd. And then the fact that the Royal Rumble wasn't always available to women, I think all the legends should get at least one time to come back and be in the Rumble.
Yeah.
Because they all
Yeah.
gave something to the business at some point. And it sucks that they didn't get a chance to like be a part of that.
Yeah. I was very happy to see Victoria come back because she got screwed over a lot, I think, when it came time to, like, you know, come back to the WWE. I think they kind of like shafted her a lot because I know one time she said she tried to go back there and congratulate the women and they wouldn't let her go back backstage or something. And Yeah, so it's good to see Victoria back. I just wish that she came out to all the things she said.
I know.
I wish
I think that's the one thing.
I wish it was that so bad. I would have screamed. My family would have more. But
I'm hoping this is securing her. Like, I don't know what they're doing with the Hall of Fame because we still haven't had the inductees from last year. That's up in the air, I guess.
Yeah.
But I hope this is like, her segue into being inducted because she, like, her tenure at that business, like, she was holding on like Natty. Like, she was holding on and she was putting over not just like a season of girls, she put over several seasons of girls. Like, she was with the Trishas and the Mollys, and she was with the Melinas and the Marisas, and then she was with the Bella. Like, you know what I mean? She like, so
she was there for the Bella Twin debut, the Twin Magic.
Yeah, like she put
Twin
over
Magic.
so many women.
Mhm.
She really did. She should definitely get more.
She
And it's
definitely
time.
played Crazy very well. She's one of the few women who played Psycho very well.
I still, her bikini like match with the Diva Search girls is probably one of my most favorite segments. I know it's a bikini match, but like Victoria looks fucking sick. And I'm sorry, I could like keep cursing on here. And
We curse all the time.
Oh, okay,
We curse
good.
all the
I never
time.
got the okay. I was like, I keep cussing. I gotta stop.
It's fine.
So-
Listen, wait, full disclosure, you can cuss, you can voice your opinion, say however you feel, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
What we don't do, we don't bash anybody, we don't, all the racial, sexual stuff, we don't do that.
Oh yeah.
But the cussing, we welcome cussing. I cuss all
All right,
the
girl.
time.
Shit. What I was about to say. Is like, I don't even remember what I was about to say actually now.
Sorry. Oh, Victoria's, you was talking about Victoria's suit at the bikini contest, the bikini match.
Oh yeah. Hands down one of my favorite because she just looks like so in shape, and then she just like freaking demolishes all the girls, and it's like such a thing. I really do love her. It's time for her to go in the Hall of Fame.
I agree.
And
And
I feel like she and Jillian will be in there for some reason.
Yeah, I feel like this is what they're doing now because like when you had Tori Wilson enter the Rumble back in 2018, and then it was kind of like I feel like we're like this is a signal like we're gonna
Me
put
too.
her. Like, that's what I feel like. I feel like when they're featured in the Royal Rumble, what I'm actually surprised about is like Melina wasn't in the Royal Rumble. That she was at Legends Night.
she should be too. I think like people would go insane.
Yeah, and she's
I think
another
they
one.
want
that-
her back.
Yeah,
They want
she's
her
another
back,
one.
and Rumble would be too predictable to bring her back. They got to do it when you really least expect it.
True.
But I also feel like because they want her back so much, like fans, they also have to do it at a time where you can actually get the good reaction to it, like the good crowd pop, like when they start opening venues and things. So for right now, Melina's probably like on the back burner, but they
so true.
know you want them to come. Yeah.
Is it okay if I ask
think
a
it's
question for you guys?
Yeah.
Of course.
Who, like in the Women's Royal Rumble, whoever woman, who would you freak out if they came out?
Well,
Dead or alive?
I guess we should pick alive right now.
For who?
Okay.
For the Royal Rumble.
Wait. For who? Who did you say?
No, she
Damien.
had asked if any. Oh, Damien, who did you say?
Oh, I mean, I've already died, came back, and died again. Like, I freaked out when Tori came out. Tori's like my OG growing up as a little like little gay boy in Virginia. Like that was my like everything. And so when she came in the 2018 Rumble, there's a video of it. I was drunk too, but I like lost it. Like I literally like went into
I love that.
like a seizure, not a seizure, but like literally went into like hyperventilating.
Hyperventilation.
Yeah, and like I feel like this past Sunday, I was on FaceTime with Mimi. Like I feel like I was kind of surprised again, and it was like happening all over again. But I was like, okay, you need to calm down. Like this is like her fourth fight. But honest to God, like you were saying, dead or alive. I mean, don't we all just wish China was still here? Because and for a live crowd, I mean that pop would send just
the crowd would go insane.
Yo, imagine a China and Nia standoff, or China and Tamina standoff.
Oh yes.
Like, oh man, I will forever blame WWE for that. I will forever hold WWE responsible for that. Like, it was no way she should have went out that way at all.
No.
Yeah, so China would have been my
I was
dead.
gonna say China. Yeah, I was gonna say China.
That's why I asked dead or alive. China's definitely my dad. Alive, or my dad also probably would have been like Mae Young, just because all the stuff that she did in the 90s and Attitude Era.
God.
I feel like Mae Young definitely would have just been on some. She probably would have went over the ropes and came back and would have been like pulling people's feet at the bottom. Like I feel like
she was. I'm doing the whole like recapping every 90, like ranking every 90s match, and I'm on 99, and I'm watching so many of their matches. Oh my God, the bumps those women were taking like in their 60s, 70s. Like they were doing. And
the fact that they were in their 60s and 70s, looking like they were in their 80s and 90s.
I know, it was like a whole other thing.
Like looking back on those episodes and King's commentary about Moolah and Mae, hilarious.
Oh my God, one of my favorite quotes is Ivory coming out and she's like, "Nice outfits. Where'd you get it? The 5 and dime?" And there's a broom, and she's like, like they're witches. And then King's like, "Who did her eyeliner? A dinosaur?" Like,
yeah. And then King talk about how they used to go to dinner with Jesus, and he had the Last Supper. There was a part of the Last Supper and whatnot. Yo, hilarious.
Yeah, pure entertainment.
Wait, so can we talk about this moment real quick? Because this is probably between Victoria and this moment, I was like, this is the best moment ever.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I love Foxy. That was great.
When her music hit, I was like, oh my God! Like, because she was in, I think, the first two. No, not the first one.
She wasn't the first. She's in the second.
She's in the second one, but then not last. So yeah, so it was really nice to see her. And we talked about it on the Face Beat Hills High podcast. How upset we were when we seen R-Truth and all his 24 like interrupting the Women's Royal Rumble. I was so pissed that I had a tweet open on my laptop in all caps about this interruption, but then when it led to Alicia Fox and R-Truth and then her winning the title, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah. And then she joined like this list of people that won the championship at Rumble, and I was like really happy for her.
Yeah, well, I think she was out of 3, it's like she's the person to win a championship or in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looked amazing too.
She did too.
She did look amazing. She looked real healthy.
She looks fantastic. And
I feel like she hinted.
She hasn't lost a beat.
Not at all. I feel like she hinted at this on Raw Legends, and I'm just being really into it or trying to be seeing through things. But she was with Angel, and she went to grab the title, and she's like, "Ooh, it's gonna be mine." And I just right then and there, I was like, "She's getting that." She's gonna get that.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Perfect way to do it.
Perfect. And she has tattoos now. I was like, okay, girl.
Oh yeah.
She's got full arm tattoos, full sleeve.
Mm-hmm. Full sleeve. Definitely. But it was a good at first I was just really they're gonna have this this interruption. You're really gonna sit here and interrupt a Women's Royal Rumble. But I forgot how quirky Alicia Fox is.
Mm-hmm.
So it was it was definitely the perfect piece to the R-Truth puzzle, because they're both, crazy together. So it was good. It was good. But that's my last piece. I'm about to hop off of this. I just wanted to come show my face, support you guys. Thank you for having me and letting me speak my pieces. Of course. It was good meeting you guys, speaking with you guys.
Yes.
I'll see you later. Krista. Yes. I will see you guys later. Bye.
Yes. Bye, Krista B.
Bye.
Okay. So did you guys want to touch on anything else for Rumble recap before we go into some other fun stuff?
I mean, I'm good. I'm down for whatever.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Me too.
Although I do want to say, because that question I wanted to lead up to, even though I'm not a very big fan of her, I would probably freak out if AJ Lee ever came to it.
Oh, me too. I think that's probably the biggest shot. I think that would throw the most waves.
Like I can see in a couple of years, like when they have a live audience, because I think she needs a live audience there.
Yeah.
If she came out, that would be a very big moment.
I would die. Or like even I know she's still with the company, but Paige, only because like no one like expects her to be able to wrestle. So like if her music hits, it's like, oh my god! And I'm a huge, I don't know how y'all feel about Paige, but I'm a huge Paige fan. I think she gets such a bad rap.
She does.
Horrible taste in men, but you know who doesn't?
Terrible.
Who does it? I know that's right.
Right? She's mad young, like, you know, let her live her best life.
Yeah, she'll
like
always
born
have
and
a
raised.
special place in my heart because like I got back into wrestling in 2014. It started when I saw the Shield on my TV and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this again. And then I started watching NXT and I saw Paige and Emma and Summer Rae and I'm like, I really like them. So it's like they got me really into women's wrestling again.
Same.
So they always hold a very special place in my heart.
Same. Yeah, so I think China obviously dead. But I think AJ Lee, Paige for me, and then Krista B didn't say it, but she's always wanted Sable to come back.
Oh yeah, that would be.
And I never thought about it, and I was like,
I don't know what she would really do, but she could pop up.
See, that's the thing.
She just needs to do one Sable Bomb and she'll probably.
She could probably do that.
I don't think so either. Yeah, right. And honestly, like she's not an athlete. Like even the non-wrestlers, like a Tori Wilson she's taken bumps, like she's trained as a wrestler. Sable literally like refused to do any of that.
Yeah, oh my god, there's like a couple matches on like
walk
the
in and then she'll put herself over the top rope and then leave and then she'll make $1 million. It's fine.
Yeah, I could see her coming in looking real vampy and throwing somebody over that was distracted.
Yeah,
I don't know how they'd be distracted because everybody would be looking at Sable, but then she would be like, "All right, I'm out. Like I'm getting," and then she just walk out the ring.
Yeah,
okay, like
that's exactly what she would do. Like, yes,
but I think she's just like. I mean, I've only heard like sweet things about her, like that she's living her life and she's very like the people that live where she lives at. Like it's weird these forums or whatever, and then it's like, or who even knows if it's true, but like she's sweet, humble, nice, but maybe she's just like. I don't know. She's pulling like a Kim Cattrall, and she's like, you know, no longer doing that. That chapter is closed.
Right. So I want to bring on a dear friend of mine. She's a huge fan of wrestling, period. Like she watches everything, women's wrestling. And I like to call her a TikTok queen because honestly, like she is. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, girl.
Hello, everybody. I don't know if everybody can hear me. This is a brand new mic.
Oh yeah.
Yes, finally content. Okay, cool. Hi, I'm Siendo B. For those of you who know me, Pat really knows me well. I've known her probably since we were like 25 or so. But
no, like more like 21.
They're like, oh yeah, right. But I go on TikTok and on Instagram as Reload Relive, and I also go on Twitter as Relive via Film. I'm a huge film fanatic, but I also like to call myself a wrestling librarian because I know a little bit too much. I'm one of those people that was highly invested on the backstage of everything that happens in wrestling. Pat knows me. I live for Dark Side of the Ring. It's now my obsession right about now. And I go for everything, which is why the network is such a savior to me because it's like, oh, I get to watch all this old
content.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, the network is a lifesaver.
So when she told me she was going to partner up with We Watch Women's Wrestling, I was like, yes, oh my God. I was like, you have no idea. Like I'm like sneakily watching their content. I'm like, yes.
Oh my God, love you. I love that. Yes.
I was like, it's not every day that, especially like we don't girls, we have to fan over ourselves. It's like to have a guy-girl dynamic. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're like the first. So Damien, I don't know if you know, we don't normally have male guests only because this was like a platform for giving women a voice. So like we've interviewed like the owner of the GCW wrestling promotion. So he was like officially our first guest, but like this is our first, like you're like our first, like, yeah, this is big. This is a big
wow. I so appreciate that. And like I've like literally that makes me feel so like whole And I'm so thankful that like you would even like, you know, allowed me into your space. And it's beautiful. Like,
Wait, so I feel like this is. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to.
Oh no, I mean I'm just over here. I'm just kind of gushing now because I just feel very loved. I'm just like I'll start just saying mushy things. I've always like yes, I'm like queer. I'm LGBT, and I was raised by 7 women, so I've always felt this. I've always been in touch with my feminine side, obviously, but I've always had this yearn to be closer to females, women, feminine energy, you know. So
wait, this is plug your channel too, because I feel like this is a good time too.
I love that you said you checked out the content. That always makes me feel good because it literally, we watch women's wrestling on YouTube and Instagram. It was just like this little thing that me and my best friend Brianna, who's watched wrestling with me since we were probably like 7 or 8, like we were like, the women are killing it right now, like let's just do stuff about it, like let's make funny videos about it, let's just like talk. Like
actually how I found you guys, because one time like I've actually met the guy from Cultaholics, and I'm really into like WrestleMania, but then you guys like kind of scrolled in, I guess, on the suggested because I didn't watch so much of it. And you guys, the first episode I think I watched, you guys actually reviewed some chapters in the Bella Twins books, and I was like, oh wait, click, because I want to read, but because Pat knows I have a love-hate relationship, was now more of a love relationship. I was like,
I do too.
They talked about girl AJ. I said, I'm gonna click on that for a second, and you guys kind of had the same insight feeling that I had, and I was like, I can grow like that.
Wait, I'm sorry. Because Audrey and I are proud, and Krista B is always in spirit. So what? I didn't know this, Damien. Oh my god, I have to rethink everything. No,
listen, I can give it to you in a nutshell.
Please.
I can give it to you in a nutshell. I agree with what she was saying in the aspect of his love-hate, because obviously the Bellas and Total Divas specifically got me back into wrestling after not watching it for many years. But once I started watching the product, to me, in the beginning, I felt as though like, okay, why are the Bella Twins the champions for so long? Because there are better girls. But then with the whole package and then their show, I truly fell in love with them, and now I like yearn and miss them. And like I want, like when they came back for the Ronda thing, I was like in the Bella army. I was like, why have I been trying to fight this my whole life? You know what I mean? Like,
you know what's so crazy?
I worship them. I went and bought like Birdie B stuff. Clearly, like I was like, I'm obsessed with them now. Like I'm like, why did I fight that? They got me back into wrestling. Like, so what? Like they were like a little kind of flat sometimes in their wrestling. I was like, everything else.
I'm here to protect you. It's okay.
Thank you,
and I think when you read their book, you find out the reasons as to why they ended up so flat at certain points in wrestling. It's because they did not give them the proper training, no matter how much that they were begging and asking for it. Like they just were not giving them the training. So when like with Nikki and with Brie, when certain points in their career happened, they were typically getting like Daniel Bryan to train them so that they could be better. And I think for the Bellas is that they always wanted to be better, but they were never given the opportunities to become better, because at that point in time in wrestling, they didn't really care about women's wrestling. That's the sucky part about it.
And I just feel like it's weird because you say that, and I just clicked to me. I'm like, AJ Lee said the same thing in her book. The Bella Twins did the same thing in her book. Tori Wilson even went on an article and talked about how hard it was, and that they're like, if they did not have like, if Tori Wilson didn't have like Fit Finley, if AJ didn't have like all the trainers she had in Fit Finley, and then like every single female wrestler to this day, they all credit Fit Finley. And it's like you do have to have somebody to have your corner, because even like I honestly started rooting for the Bella Twins when I heard they had to get dressed in the hallway. I was like, excuse me?
Like so random.
Like I'm busting through the door, like, no, like I refuse to take that bullying contact, but think about the environment. Like men always talk about like, oh, you know, get out of catering, but imagine what the women have to go through. And I just think that's why it's like I say love hate, because at first I was just like, this show, and I tell Pat to this day, Bella Twins was made like Total Divas was made for the Bellas. I don't
Yep.
care. Like I fell in love with Naomi after that because I was like,
Same.
oh God, yes, sister. And then it's like Natty. But I was like, the show is strictly for the Bella Twins, and I want to like, okay, I want to know more about them. Total Divas is gonna bring that mainstream attention, but I really feel like I don't know the Bella Twins. I only know them to be like models, which is what they were potentially hired to do. And now that I see them training with Daniel Bryan and going out there and being ambassadors and inspiring people, I'm just like, okay, all right, I can get with this.
Let me have a seat. Like
I can sit down and just.
Yeah.
And then I see them being another thing that captivated me about them was them being mentor to a lot of women coming in. Now I know, granted, reality TV is like scripted, but you could definitely tell they were trying to mentor anybody that was coming in. And I also got that from their book. So you can slowly see them grow into, okay, we work for this, we get here to, all right, how can we make sure the next group of girls isn't going to go through what we went through and get their time to shine. So that's why I was like, okay, now I love them because you fairly want that when you join a company, especially something as big. You translate from wrestling to sports entertainment. A lot of these girls that are coming into WWE, they're already experienced. So we got to see where WWE is going to recreate them and rebrand them and make them likable in that sense. And that's a hard transition in itself.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think even if a lot of the women wrestlers like Becky Lynch gave Brie Bella a lot of props for like when Becky just got onto the main roster. And I think a lot of women of that time will even say like the Bella Twins made the locker room a lot comfortable and accepting. And it's just like, I always see like other women, like I said, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, like when those girls transitioned from NXT to the main roster, they give the Bella Twins a lot of credit as to why they were able to do it so smoothly,
right?
Because you have veterans like the Bella Twins who I always said I don't see them as petty women, because even in their book, they have said like they've tried to make the locker room a more safe and comfortable place for all of the women because they were treated so badly when they were in the locker room, and they wanted to change that. And I don't think it was just the Bella Twins that did that. I think it was a group effort for every woman that's in there, like Natty and Naomi and those veterans, to make it a much better locker room today than it was back in, like, say, the Divas era or even the Attitude era.
And it's crazy too, because even when I think back to like AJ Lee and her Slammy speech, I think that Slammy speech proved that she was on her last leg, because everything that was going on with the company was there. And it was just like, oh, I'm here to pave the way for like the Paiges and the Sashas and the Baileys and the Charlottes, and but it's a long time before I'm done being queen. Like, you didn't have to say that in your speech. Like, it's not like, okay, if you don't care about the people in the back, don't care about the people in the back. But the fact that she went out there and knew people were watching NXT and knew that what it was like to be on NXT as a female competitor and have people make fun of you and fall asleep. Even the people, Michael Cole, I think he's a joke, but like people fall asleep and make jokes when you're seriously trying to take your job seriously.
Yeah.
I felt that. And she was like, all right, well, if y'all say that I'm not for the locker room, let me do this then. Let me hype the next people up. Mind you, people don't remember that AJ did that, and I think maybe the night before, I think it was the second takeover, it was Paige. I think that was when Paige versus Emma had just happened. And that match, I think, was like hyped so much at NXT. I think that match was the most viewed match aside from like Adrian Neville, whoever he was fighting. Like, people don't even remember that. People remember Emma and Paige.
Right.
So when she said that, it was like, oh snap, like she's trying to talk about NXT, like, and then more people, I started watching NXT because of that. I'm like, who are these people that she's talking about? I did not know that Charlotte Flair was on NXT till that speech. And I was like, wait, Ric Flair's daughter's wrestling? Like,
right.
I
have to step up just for a second.
Okay. So question really quick about AJ Lee and like the locker room at that time. I feel like what's most interesting and what I discovered in the Bella Twins book is that the men were holding the women back as well. And like, y'all were really threatened by the women to the point where like you guys were actually actively pushing them back. Oh, I don't like, some of them didn't even want the women to main event Royal Rumble in 2018.
Right.
There was like, they said in their book that guys was like figuring out the spots that they had for the match and like wanted to know. So, and like they had to change the finish a couple times because, you know, like some of the male wrestlers were unhappy. And that was like disappointing because it's just like, come on, this is like, we never had a Royal Rumble. Like, come on. Like, seriously.
And even Sasha Banks and Bailey confirmed that in their little documentary that they got on the network. Because Sasha was saying, like, we had to hide what we were going to do in the match because guys would watch us practice and get upset about what moves that we were going to do. And then they would talk to a higher up, and then a higher up would tell us that we can't do that move. So they're like, we had to hide what we were going to do in the match. And that was for their takeover match at Brooklyn.
Isn't that kind of like weird though that like so WWE puts out a documentary about how they're sexist? Like I don't understand.
Right. And then you know what?
And then their like superstars put out books and other like articles. I don't understand.
Like,
I think it's because they know they'll never get in trouble for it. They're like, it doesn't matter. They can say whatever.
I was just going to get the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say the same thing. I'm like, try and go on TV with that shit. Granted, Vince is probably waiting for you back there, and his muscle mouth is probably yelling at you. But hey, if I go on a whim and tell those wrestling girls that, we couldn't go over 10 minutes because the Undertaker had to fight number contestant 172. Like, what are you going to do to me? Make me dance in the ring and have an awkward dance competition? Like, what can you do to me? Like,
it's true. Wait, so on another note, real quick, have y'all been watching Total Bellas?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes, I have too.
How did you guys like this season? I'm a little bit behind, but I listened to their podcast, so I feel like I've watched Total Bellas. But how did you guys feel about how much the Bellas shared? Because I feel like to share your postpartum and all that kind of stuff.
And let me tell you why.
I love it because I feel like they're very genuine about it. And it is all about getting like money at the end of the day. So if they're going to be genuine and it's going to come across and appeal, then I say, why not? Especially in the culture we live in. And I'll say that, like, bottom line, I thought it was so beautiful. Like, my best friend of like 20 years just recently had a baby, and it just feels like, I don't know. It's like I like have a connection with that, and it's, I don't know, like them sharing that. It's just so beautiful, and like it's coronavirus, so I can't really go see them or whatever. So we've been like watching it together, and it's just really beautiful. And I love they had like that episode of them getting wasted and then calling up this like house they wanted to go check out, like with a real estate agent, and they're like clearly just so wasted. Like them two, when they just have a few glasses of wine in them, the shit they start saying, I'm over here like I'm trying to eat my food, like choking because I'm laughing. Like, these bitches are so funny. Like, why are they so
really are?
So I just loved it. I know when I turn on an episode of Total Bellas, maybe not like I won't be paying attention the whole time, but there's gonna be some spots where I'm literally like cracking up because
they are actually really funny and they're perfect for reality TV.
You know what's crazy? Yeah. One thing I was like, like, why didn't they get a reality TV show a long time ago? Like, to hell with Tough Enough. Why we didn't get Total Bellas?
Right?
Nothing. Y'all could pick whoever y'all want out the indies. Like, no, like,
right.
Like the more I started watching it, I was like, wait, they gotta do what? I'm like, they got cut through WrestleMania. Because even I said that, like, I was watching the first episode, and I'm like, why didn't I was so excited for the Funkadelics to finally wrestle, and they just cut them. I was like, wait, what happened? And then they were like, we got cut. The Undertaker match went so long. And I was like, that's some bull.
Freaking Undertaker and CM Punk making their
match long. And then they were sitting there chewing their nails and biting off their, like, calluses.
I know, it was so sad.
That was sad.
What up is this? Like,
I think, And, go ahead, Audrey.
I was going to say that's what I actually love about like Total Divas and Total Bellas is that we are seeing the real stuff happening like backstage, like to see that match get cut from WrestleMania and to see their real emotions of being like, that was our only segment, our only match on this show for women. And they just took it away just because these two guys had to wrestle overtime. You know, like, and I understand Undertaker and CM Punk, they were big names. Undertaker will always be a big name, but it's just like the women had one match, literally one match, and
And
it's
then they
like
went to none.
exactly. And I think
Right.
that was the last time a WrestleMania didn't have a women's match in it.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the last Mania. It'll definitely be the last. And fun fact, I was at that WrestleMania.
Stop.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my very, very first WrestleMania. So back to wrestling, because I want this to be a monthly recap show. So I want to go over some of the stuff that's been going on Raw and SmackDown. So what are y'all's thoughts on this whole storyline? Wait, hold on. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Hold on. Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I like have a note sheet on this computer ready for this whole entire thing.
Okay.
Girl got questions.
So
like, Rick Nature Boy, like Nature
Yeah.
Boy is an understatement for this whole entire thing. Like it like Tori Wilson could never for Charlotte. Like I'm sorry, like there's such a replay of what happened. Like, does anybody remember that? Like Dawn Marie. First of all, shout out to
yes.
Marie, yeah,
I don't even remember.
Cat died
in their
in their freaking honeymoon.
Yeah, like remember when Dawn Marie like was trying to really get back to Tori Wilson, so they even bought her dad on.
Oh my god! I used to make my family watch that whole thing every freaking.
I love it.
That's what's so awkward. Like my mom, my sisters, like their boyfriends. It was like Thursday night. We're gonna watch the soap opera that is Tori Wilson.
Honey, I think telenovelas, like somebody back in the writing screen is like, listen, this is what happened on CLLS. Like
Yeah.
Julio's dad. But they're going, like, I'm telling you, it has to be, because if you want to get under my skin, touch my family. Like, if you want to, like if you can, like, I don't care if you like pee on my car. I don't care if you like break it. Touch, like, try and date my dad. Like, I'm willing and ready. Like, I'm not gonna hurt you yet, but I'm gonna watch you. And I feel like the one thing that's getting me, and I'm gonna just end it with this on my thoughts. Charlotte Flair, if not for her charisma and her talent, confidence wise, she eats, sleeps, breathes, repeats confidence. Like, you can't tip this girl's chair and watch her be unbothered, which actually happened because Bailey did it. You can shove her out of a chair, you can put her through a table, she will stand up and be unbothered. So to see this scenario bother her is the most entertaining thing I've ever seen out of any storyline that she's ever participated. And bar none, nobody can tell me that she's never been unbothered, because this is a girl that has all the championships. And this is the one thing that's egging her on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I do love the storytelling, but I'm just concerned for Ric Flair. Like, this is a pandemic. We got this 80-year-old man out here. Just kissing
Listen,
on
he
women.
knew what he's getting into. Like, he's limousine riding.
With Lacey Evans, Lacey
Yeah.
Irburns.
So I love it. Well, it's entertaining. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it is. Like, she said something different.
Right. Yeah.
It's funny. It's Charlotte. Yeah, this is gonna get you. Okay, but it's.
Yeah.
I mean, and Ric Flair. It's always kind of, you know, still shocking to see him out there. It's like, here we go. Like, 20 years, man. I've been watching him for 20 years.
Yo, I'm with you. Every time I see him, I'm like, why they got his old ass out? Like, this is not
Like,
safe.
this is dangerous, right?
Like,
Go to
this is
Monaco
not
for
safe.
2021. Where the money reside. Hello.
That's true.
That's right.
And I love Lacey as a heel. Like, I think she's playing it lovely. Like, some of her Instagrams calling Charlotte stepmommy. Like, I personally coming out in the road.
Interaction.
Huh?
Have y'all noticed the Twitter interaction? Like,
Yes. That's what I love about it. It's like entertaining to me. But one storyline, RJ, did you say your piece? You digging it? And okay, cool.
I'm okay with it. It's like, it's not like it doesn't have me fully in it, but you know, I'm like, okay, as long as Charlotte's not in the title picture, okay.
Okay. So how do you guys feel about this? Because I love every second of this whole thing. Billy Kay.
Oh my God, I love
Right.
it.
God. I
just
lived for
immediately
this.
think like he was a skater boy. She said. Like straight up.
Like Billy Kay just makes that whole thing. Like, and obviously Liv and Ruby are, you know, they're doing their part in it, but it's just like Billy Kay is just so freaking funny, and her comedic timing is just perfection. Like she could be like a straight up comedian, like on a TV show.
Oh, 100%. She's hilarious. And the fact that The Rock was like her favorite growing up is such a good piece of trivia because he's so funny too. Like like obviously something she like got from that. So I'm here for Billy Kay. I think her resume thing is hilarious. Her at the Royal Rumble, like going up to everyone, like offering her resume. I think it was perfection.
Her, I'm like, honey, you sit here really trying to get hired. You could be trying to get the belt. Like, mind you, I'm just sitting here and I'm just laughing at it. And I'm like, I think this is what's gonna make her like a favorite amongst her fans, because even like I feel like even when they split apart, like Pennington List, you already knew Pennington List was gonna be good on her own, but it's like, what can Billy Kay do? And I feel like her doing this just proves to anybody like, oh, it's not just the Iconics, it's not just, you know, Painless first, like Pennington List. I can do this too. And even during their documentary, when they spoke to The Rock and The Rock said, listen, like to hear that from your idol, to be like, I'm seeing what you guys are doing, keep doing it. Like that must have lit a match under her to be like, listen, even if we don't work, like I know what I'm gonna do. Like I'm gonna be fine. Like I know what to do. I know my personality, and it shows. Like you gotta have personality. Like my rest is so Dusty said it. Even when I was watching the FCW, like you gotta learn how to talk, walk, and move. Like you do.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't do none of that, you're gonna just, like I say, you're gonna sit in catering or get dressed. Like you see what they did with, and I hate to go off topic, but you see like Cedric Alexander, like his evolution from just being the guy in the locker room or being the guy from 205 to now being a part of the Hurt Business and is still enough of his talent to finally have a championship. Like you got to learn how to walk the walk, talk the talk, and do the work. And I think that's where she's going.
I agree.
Yep.
I totally agree. All right. Now I want to hear your thoughts on another storyline going on. This one. What are your thoughts on Alexa Bliss in the Firefly Funhouse? Her in the midst of Randy Orton? Like, what do you guys think? I have a lot of thoughts, but I'll let you guys go ahead.
I honestly love it because I think Alexa Bliss is doing her best work right now in this whole storyline. And the fact that we're getting the storyline of a woman in in a storyline with a guy, and it's just like she's not in a title picture or anything. Like this is just like her story, hers and Randy Orton's and the Fiend storyline, even if the Fiend's not really like in it right now. But it's like she is playing the freaking part. She is acting her with like her whole life into it, you know, and it's really good. And I like to see a woman in that position. And I really think that they picked Alexa Bliss was a very good choice.
Yeah.
Bam. I feel like I can put this real simple. I love the story. I love the idea. I'm not an Alexa Bliss fan, so I'm just kind of. I clock in, clock out. I'm like, all right, she got RKO'd. That's pretty cool. Like, she's not my cup of tea. So I'm not really interested. But I do appreciate, like you said, how, like, I'm glad they have her in this. She's excelling. I think she's doing good at it. And there is some entertainment with it for me. But again, for me, I'm not my cup of tea. Love the idea.
Yeah. I grew to like Alexa Bliss in the last like year or so because I hated how WWE pushed her to the moon. I just did not think she was there. And I was excited for her to be a part of this storyline just because it was something different. I don't know how I feel about the execution. Like, it's just, there are times, like, I don't know, and maybe because I am older, maybe it's not for me, like the superpower thing. Like, you had mentioned it earlier, like you're glad she had the squash elimination at Rumble, because I'm just like, they, you know, what is she just gonna have everyone flying over the ropes? Like I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very protective of like the Bray Wyatt Fiend Firefly Funhouse thing, like what they do creatively with it, and I just feel like it's just like a lot going on, like with Alexa and everyone. So I don't know. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I feel like at the beginning it was interesting because it's like I had a feeling she was gonna end up going Darkside, and everybody had a feeling about that. Like, it's kind of predictable, but at the same time, now I'm kind of like, when is this gonna end? Like, are you gonna bring back Bray Wyatt? Like, she's doing great on her own, and I like the whole thing with Nikki Cross still kind of hanging on to them as a theme. I think that's the only thing that's kind of making me invested. Like, is she gonna crack? Is she gonna leave Randy Orton alone? Is she gonna break from whatever? Like, because easily this is like a take on like psychological being even with her. But it's like, okay, we get it. You're trying to play games with Randy Orton on behalf of Bray Wyatt, fine. But what happens when Randy Orton isn't feeding into it anymore? She's gonna fall lost. She can't just go back to being Alexa.
Right.
Normally. Yeah. Like, what's after this for her? Like, at least, you know, back in the day when women were losing their shit in storylines, you can always see what happened to them afterwards. And like with Alexa Bliss, with this one, it's like I can't see it. Like,
I hope the demon possesses Nikki, and then
that
takes okay. That I can see, and then them both being a pair.
I would love for Crazy Nikki to come back. I would like if this all ends with Crazy Nikki coming back, it was all worth it.
When she was like the best.
She did it the best. I think she would actually execute this way better than Alexa is.
Yeah, that's what
and I don't
play her.
Yes, that's what it is. I think that's what it is. I like what they're doing. I just don't. Alexa's not clicking for me. No.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's. I wouldn't expect like. Okay, I kind of knew it was gonna happen, but it was like, why not make Nikki Cross Sister Abigail?
Yeah. That would have been dope.
Why not do that? Or why not have Alexis be Sister Abigail and then pop up here and there?
Mm-hmm.
She can be both Alexa Bliss and Sister Abigail. Like, why not do that? Like, they've done that before. But it's just like with this, it's like I don't know what's gonna happen next with her, and I hope they come next with her because she's another talented young female.
Yeah, she's really good. So I want to pivot a little bit to gears and looks because we don't talk about it a lot on our show because it's audio and it's hard to like talk about fashion in like an audio context. But so how have you been feeling about Natalya? So she has been really experimenting lately, like with her gear and with like her looks. How did you guys feel about Royal Rumble? She debuted in a gear that I don't think I've ever seen her in this color before.
No, she doesn't wear. I've only seen her in like either all black or
the nude, right?
With the mesh,
like pink and black or like straight black. She had like a whole black phase, didn't she?
Yeah, I feel like she wore black and pink for the most part for like years. So when she came out with the gold, I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, it's very,
it's like I want to toot it, but I'm gonna boot it. You know what I mean?
Right. Like it's very like if Tim Gunn were to be like, I'm gonna intern backstage for the day, and then this happens. Like he would just be like gold, everything. Like she kind of gives me the illusion of Goldust if he was to come back. Like this is kind of Goldusty. Like I hated Goldust's outfit. I'm like, all right, how long are you gonna wear the fucking robe and the cape and all this stuff? But we get it. You're gold. Your face is gold. Your gear is gold. But it's just like it's very sunshiny, and that's not Natalya. Like I wonder why they take the fighter out of her gear. Like why? I just know Natty to be a fighter. Like let her be a fighter. Like why does she have to be all gold and sunshiny with these young girls?
I feel like this was her choice though. This feels like a Natty choice to me.
Right? Totally. Why? I want to know like the scheme. Like I feel like okay, y'all can say a 2-piece, and then probably the next person Pat shows them explain why. Because it's just like with gear, I associated with the personality.
Yeah.
So like,
Yes.
this
Yeah.
this gives me what from her?
Yeah, this gives me like costume, like almost like she's
Yeah,
she's like a villain on the Power Rangers. Like it's
Right.
executed kind of like stagey. Like it just looks very like you look like you're gonna be on set for a film, and they're gonna make you look better, after with this outfit thing.
Yeah. It doesn't fit her. It's not her look.
Yeah.
No.
right. Like
She looks flawless, obviously, but yeah.
She looks
like they could have given her some gold cat ears. Like at least the cat ears, I would have been like, all right, bet cat girl's back. Like
Yeah, it's like she saw Mickey James.
Gave her some gold spiky cat ears and be done with it. But it's just like the whole outfit and like, okay, like what are you giving me? You're not giving me anything.
Yeah, it's kind of like I feel like when I saw it for the first time, it's like she saw that Mickey James in the Elimination Chamber, and she was like, "I want that. I want that.
Right.
Give me that look."
But you expect that from Mickey James because Mickey
Yeah.
James is all like happy and perky and skipping down the ring and extra bell bottom. Like you're not gonna expect Natty to skip down the ring.
No, she is about
Down the ring
dominatrix.
to whoop your ass.
Yeah.
Like
Remember on Total Divas when Natalia got that dominatrix woman to come to her and TJ's house?
Oh my god, that's great.
that was
was
for the
doing
ring.
the
That was
wildest
for
stuff.
the relationship because that wasn't for the ring. That was for the relationship.
Yeah.
Her
Her and her sister, there's something else, right? To be a fly on the
YouTube,
wall.
right?
Oh my god, their YouTube channel.
I was like, is this YouTube or OnlyFans? Like, what am I doing?
Same. I feel like they're just like,
And then
It's
like,
so
honey, the controversy, you want to fire homegirl for having an OnlyFans, but you got them spraying whipped cream in their mouths. Like, what's this?
and I think they get it and they play into it, which makes it more cringe. Like they literally are in dresses like with their boobs literally hanging out, and they're literally like, and then
I literally think that's one of the things that they're trying, like what you talked about earlier is like, let's see what we can get away with. They're like, all right, they didn't really tell us we can take our YouTube channel down. So
right.
let's just
TJ, where's TJ? TJ. I love what Natty
let's
says.
see what we
TJ.
can get away with it.
oh god, that poor man, yo. He probably he probably be in the house like
He's the one
TJ just
filming. He's over here like, hey.
So chill.
He
Like
Yeah.
you just seem so
He
chill,
very
and then Natty's just Natty.
Yeah.
Yes.
He loves her.
she
married into the heart.
Yeah, and I don't think she could have married someone as high sprung as she is. I think he mellows her out perfectly by being like so chill because she's insane.
Speaking of PJ, you guys know he produced the Women's Royal Rumble, right?
No,
Yeah. And he's also
He produced
a
it.
known contributor to Evolution.
Yeah.
nice, very nice.
Like, the
He's
cartoons and everything, I believe, was him.
nice. I really love to hear that. Did you guys notice Shayna Baszler's gear at Royal Rumble?
Wasn't that gold too?
It was
Yeah.
gold and it had like a little like mesh top. I'm trying to find like a good photo, but of course
Here's my
not
thing
one.
with her. She's the queen of spades.
Yeah.
Gold associated. So, like I said, I could expect that from her. Like, she can only come down in like leather dive bar gear for so long.
Mhm.
Sidebar gear, I love it.
Dive bar gear. Like, mind you, I used to hang out in dive bars. And it's like every guy that used to try and talk to me wore that. Like,
Yes, that's right.
That's
like,
true.
dive
I'm
bars.
upset with her.
Like,
Why?
like they're
Just,
trying to
no.
get her to show some skin and she's trying to breathe. Like, let her breathe. But you expect, like, she even has, if you look at it, she has black spades on her clothing. That's still trademark X to her.
I love the top with the mesh.
Right.
I'm like,
Same,
ooh,
me
a little halter moment.
I like her. I like
Because
it.
from far away it looks like it's just the top.
Yeah, like a,
Yeah.
like a halter. Yeah. I love
Yeah,
that. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she eliminated Tori Wilson, and it's like
So it was her.
It was her.
it was
Right.
her. You know what's so crazy is that Tori Wilson's elimination totally eclipsed Bailey's elimination. And you didn't even see Bailey get eliminated. They were like panned over her. And they were like, all right, whatever, we missed it. Back to Tori Wilson. I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
I kept seeing the tweets of like people being like, freaking Kevin Dunn ruining all the shots.
Oh, it was perfect for me. I was like, oh, all Tori, and then it was Great time. She looks good. The Nia looks good here too.
Listen, Kevin
She
Dunn
does.
worked 365. Like, they give that man some slack. Like,
Yeah.
I know, right?
he probably heard pandemic. He was like, "Well, I get to go home," and they were like, "Nope."
Oh,
We're
no.
live.
No, I don't think he would. I don't think he would want to. I listen to so many podcasts, and they say like he's like almost as important and powerful as like Vince McMahon backstage because of like what he does.
Right.
Which I
Michael
can't
Cole
even
said
imagine.
that. Like, the people that were there for the longest are basically in a position of power. Like, I know Michael Cole is a producer now. I know Kevin Dunn has some say. I know Road Dogg had some say, and a couple of other people. So it's that I'm not surprised by that fact.
Yeah, me neither. So let's talk about the tag team championships. And I think Nia always looks good. I don't think she really ever like not looks really flawless.
I don't care what anybody says.
Say that again.
I'm a fan. She's a baddie in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, she's gorgeous.
You can dress.
I like her
and then
mouth.
trust me, like, you're powerhouse, and that's what they built her to be. And I'm glad that she got a second round with Shayla Baszler, because you mean to tell me find somebody else to take those two down? Like, I feel like Charlotte and Asuka were a whim because of course they wanted Charlotte back, but like find somebody else to take them down. Like, who's next? And I'm glad it's them to kind of be like, who's going to defeat me? Like, you want Lana to come back and get a title swing? Fine. Who can you bring? Because you know what, that door always opens up. Somebody else new to come in.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it. I've always been really key on Nia Jax because it's like they haven't had like a Karma or anybody yet. They try to give Karma a chance and that couldn't happen yet. They haven't had a powerhouse yet. And she's there now, and she's that powerhouse, that generation. Because I don't know if you guys are familiar with Karma, but I was a huge fan of Karma. Like NXT, like when she was the knockout champion, I watched that whole run, and I'm just like, damn,
Kong.
Oh my god, yes! I'm like, they need, like, WWE just needs an awesome Kong. Like, when Jazz, I was a huge back on Jazz.
Jazz was fantastic.
Jazz was
she was such a powerhouse.
Like, she wasn't here. Like, all right, you want to give me Tori Wilson? I'll break her. Give me. You want to put this little chickadee in the ring? I'll break her. I'll break her. Teddy Long was her manager.
Yeah.
What? Like, they needed that. And then Nia Jax comes in and she's like, I'm not a doll. Like, I'm not gonna treat you as one. And then she enters the Royal Rumble, and then she gets an RKO by Randy. She's like, all the respect in the world to get an RKO by Orton.
She got 619. She got a whole.
She got
like, yes, like they need that because it shakes up the division. Like, who can take them down now? And like,
and just the fact that it took like 4 men to take her down.
Take her out.
Yeah.
That's not mesmerizing. That's mesmerizing to me.
Yeah.
How do you guys?
Too. How she gets a lot backstage, it works for her. I don't know why. I just kind of
it does, and I think she leans into it. Like once she, and I think people forget, and we talk about it a lot. Audrey, like people forget that Nia Jax was a baby face at one point, because once she broke Becky Lynch's face, everybody like turned on her, and now it's like, and I like that she leaned into being a heel. Like, why not? You guys hate me anyway. Like, why not? You know, do I feel like she is a little reckless sometimes when she's with small wrestlers? I'm like, oh. But I love, like what you said, Damian. Like, I love that she leans into it. She trolls her trolls on Twitter. I love it.
And look, I will always say, if Nia Jax didn't do that to Becky Lynch, that super stardom wouldn't have happened for Becky Lynch. I think she was a superstar already, but with that happening, with the bloody face and all of that build up to the Survivor Series and then eventually WrestleMania, Nia Jax's big mistake right there. It sucks that anybody gets injured, but that big mistake that Nia Jax made was very, very good for Becky Lynch.
And it was crazy because, like, even with the whole storyline of Becky Lynch giving Asuka the championship, and then the next night Nia was like, you got your title from a pregnancy leave. And I was like, wait, she did not just say that. She was like, she was like, you got your title because somebody got knocked up, Asuka. Like, no. Like, I'm not going to throw away my shot. She said, not when she said knocked up. I was sitting here like, somebody is mad they didn't get, they're still in catering. Like, why didn't you call her to give it? Like, Becky Lynch was going to do that. Like, no, you sit down.
Yeah.
But she needed that. She needed that, like, okay, people going to turn on me. Lit. Bet. I got something better for you.
Yeah.
So who needs to take the tag team championships off of Shayna and Nia? And how do you guys feel about the status of these championships? Because we, on our Twitter all the time, we have people saying they should just eliminate the tag team championships at this point. It's useless. Who really needs to? I
need Rhea Ripley to bring her ass to the main roster with somebody else and team with somebody else and do the job. Because we all know Rhea Ripley she's a metalhead Eddie Guerrero to me. She's very technical. If you ever watch, like, even when you watch Bianca Belair versus her at Takeover, she's very technical.
Mm-hmm.
Why not bring somebody technical into the fold?
Yeah, and she already has that history with Shayna, so it can definitely work. They just need that person for her to tag team with. And I think that's the biggest issue right now for the women's division for the women's tag team division is that they don't have like established tag teams. Like they have like one or two. But that's why it never makes sense to me that they broke up the Iconics, because it's like you need the tag teams more than you need the single stars.
Right. Like you had one. Like, why not? Okay, I understand Evolution. Like you want them to be the butt of the joke of the of the Royal Rumble in that thing. But I was just like, why not just have them get the belts then? Like, why not have them?
Yeah.
Like I understood like for example, perfect example, Bayley and Sasha. They two peas in a pod. They've worked together since day one. Making them a tag team made total sense. But you not bringing anybody from NXT yet, because you have now, like, I think her name is Shiesta Blackheart. She just did the Royal Rumble. Rumble. I like her. I remember her. I never knew that was I forgot her name in Shimmer, but I remember her from Shimmer because she once had a match too with Ruby Riott when Ruby Riott was in Shimmer. So it's just like, why not make a tag team with somebody in her? Like you have.
I do feel like they're getting there though, because they're doing the Dusty Cup. I don't watch NXT as much as as close as I should, but they're doing women's tag team tournament for that. So I'm interested to see where that goes. But how do you guys feel about this? Hi Hanaya. She said the returning Divas of Doom should be tag team champions. I'm with that. I don't know how realistic that is, but I'm always here for Beth Phoenix to return.
I think Beth Phoenix has another year under her belt.
Yeah. I think her and Natty could do that, and I think I would like to see Natty as a women's tag team champion. And her and Beth work really, really well together. They are like an established tag team. They got to be a tag team, when women's tag teams weren't like, there weren't the championships, there was nothing to fight for, but they did it very well. So I think they could do this. And I'm glad that they got to have like that WrestleMania match with the women's tag team championships. I would like to see them have it, I think.
I agree.
Bella
Twins.
Oh my
yes,
God.
I'm holding on.
They deserve it.
Like, want to in like 2 years, and I'm like, Nikki, prepare your neck, okay? Get doctors looking at that. I need to make sure you're okay first.
I don't even if they get like a Kofi moment where they get like that time, like give it to them. Like, come on, like how many contributions? Like I felt like the Hall of Fame. I hated that people kept saying, "Oh, it's too early." Like, all right, but who else you gonna give it to? Like, you gave it
exactly. Like the Bella Twins are so. Their names are mainstream.
Right. Like Beth Phoenix was it. Like give her the respect. Like Beth Phoenix, even when I go back to AJ a lot, but it surprised me to read in her book that Beth Phoenix had a choice of who she could wrestle on SmackDown and saw AJ working in the ring with Caitlyn and said, all right, give them to me. I'll let them work. Let them work with me. Like who does that? Mind you, Beth Phoenix probably went through the same thing that the Bella Twins went through. They didn't have to give that baton. Like they're handing the baton back to each other. So her Hall of Fame isn't just, to me, just mainstream. You're giving respect to people who have passed the baton. Like Jacqueline got it because she passed the baton. She was telling divas like, okay, you guys can be pretty, but just know a couple of moves and call it that. Like, who you giving the baton to is my thing. Like Lita and Trish, baton handlers to this day. How many women have they inspired? You know what I mean? So give the belt to about, and then give them the ring, and then let them go be moms. Like I don't
for sure. I say the Riot Squad though. Like
the Riot Squad needs
it. I think it's time. I was surprised they didn't get them when like even Sarah Logan was around, because they were like the only, besides like the Iconics, they were the only like close-knit group that was like loyal to each other. Like why not have them be the champions? But I think it's time for Ruby and Liv for sure.
Yeah. And it does confuse me because like they broke up the Iconics for Ruby and Liv to continue as a tag team. So it's like, why wouldn't you make them the tag team champions?
Right.
Like, what was the point of breaking up the Iconics for this team to survive if you're not gonna put the tag team championships on?
But you know, it's crazy too. I say they're breaking up, fine to focus as singles, but why do I see them still getting back together?
Same.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I feel like it's gonna go on long enough to where Billie obviously can't find her own, and Payne is like, all right, I want this championship. If you're not gonna give her a title opportunity, give them the belts back for a minute, then break them up again. Like make that a thing. Like they're obviously best friends. They have that chemistry. You can make tag teams for them. Like there's no way they can't tell me they can't make tag teams and work. Like you have a whole grown forest called the Performance Center where you bring new people in and turn them into something. Find people who have chemistry and make them a tag team. It just feels like the women's tag team is like the mess that it was when the men's tag team division was a mess. Like, come on, how many times was Kevin Bourne and Kofi Kingston champions? Really?
Right.
And catering, eating steak. What? Like that made no sense to me back then.
So we can't sleep on Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose in their combo. Because that was nice. Because it really was heartbreaking to see Fire and Desire, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose not get the champions, and then unfortunately they're split up. I will say that was a save for Mandy. Dana doing that. They have like an aesthetic about them, and it works. But then you have like Peyton with Lacey, and it was kind of like, this doesn't why don't do this?
It didn't make any sense.
And now we have Naomi with like her 8th tag team partner in the past 2 years, and now she's like, which I love. I mean, I would love Naomi to win the tag team titles, but with Lana, I mean, I get they just keep picking apart. It's like a rotating. It's like
it'd be crazy if they brought Cameron back and tag team with Naomi and they won the tag team championships.
I'd be done. She's hilarious.
I literally got position for that right now. Absolutely. The fact that they didn't give that girl the credit for going back and learning with girls that are on the roster now, like that's humbling.
Really?
Like I'm taking wrestling seriously now, and I want to go back. Like, granted, she's doing her thing on AEW, which is like, good girl, expand your horizon, but baby, come back to the place.
But she's only had one match on AEW.
Yeah,
that's why come back to the place that made you. Like, that's your sister.
Yeah, and I think she has always said she would go back to WWE.
Right.
Yeah. She has said that, and I think they should definitely do that. If they want Naomi to be in a tag team, bring Cameron back.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. So I want to talk about one more thing that's been going on before we sort of wrap up, and that's Asuka. What the fuck is next for Asuka? Because her and Charlotte are not tag team partners anymore. I sense that. I mean, tag team champions. I sense that Asuka is. I think she's about to do something because she's taking a break from social media. Did you guys peep?
Yeah.
So what do you guys?
Her little cooking thing. Uploaded to her YouTube channel in a minute.
Yeah. So what do you guys think is next for Asuka?
Heel turn.
Some good sleep. Because she's been working so hard.
She has.
I feel like a break in a heel turn.
Yes.
And I mean, I don't want her to just like lose the title and go out, like obviously, but like I feel like they're just like they don't give that woman all the freaking opportunities she needs. I mean, I know she's won the title and stuff, but they don't like portray her as that because like she can't speak English. But I'm like, I'm sorry, like even her, she could have done the whole like Alexa Bliss storyline and went like with the title and been like, oh, I'm like kind of whatever. She could do that, and it would just be so like more like, oh, what the hell? Like, what's Asuka about to do? Like, because Asuka can murder people in the ring, and I'm glad she's not the. I'm glad that she no longer has the tag title because I'd really like her to like end this Raw Women's Championship like on a high note and be like, "I was that bitch," and then like go take a little rest because she needs one. Like I know she's tired.
That's what I'm saying. Like they've been working 365. Like where all of them are probably like, can I have a baby too so I can take a break?
Right. I already got a baby.
My momentum, like,
Right. Audrey, go ahead.
Yeah, I think since the pandemic and since Becky left, like Asuka has been doing it all. She's just like, you want me to do that? I'll do that. You want me to do that? I'll do that. I'll work. And I think she's traveling from like Las Vegas to wherever she lives.
Does she live in Las Vegas?
I think she still lives there. I don't know if she moved to Florida or not, but I know at a point she was living in Las Vegas.
Because I think Kairi Singh is back in. I think Kairi Singh, weren't they like staying together during the whole thing, or am I wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Don't know, but I know Kairi's home in Japan.
She does still work for WWE, but for Japan's WWE stuff. So she's doing like little work for them. So she's still with WWE. I definitely think in the future she'll come back for like a short time. But she had just like gotten married, so she wanted to go be home with her family and stuff, which is totally understandable.
She just got a concussion. I gave her too. No.
Right.
Exactly. Might need a little bit of time off, just a little bit.
I feel like I give them all the credit in the world for still entertaining the world, which is why it pissed me off when people were like, "Oh, you're still watching wrestling." I'm like, "Yes, I still watch."
Yes,
like,
of course.
Your basketball players can't stay in a bubble. Like these people have managed to keep doing this, the rest of the year and keep it entertaining. Mind you, WrestleMania was not the ideal WrestleMania because I was supposed to go, and unfortunately, I could not go. Because A, I had to work, and B, it's a pandemic, and I couldn't. There's no time in order for me to just like, even if they were to have fans, I still wouldn't have been able to go because it's a pandemic. Right. But like, I doubt everybody had the WrestleMania is supposed to have, but giving the wrestlers that type of break, I think it's a good and a bad because say Asuka goes away, theoretically, she goes away, she takes a break. What's next for her when she comes back? Is there anything for her when she comes back?
See, that's what's the good thing about WWE is you can leave and come back. And Asuka has this power where it's like she can literally come back. She could do what Charlotte did and come back and win the title the first night, and nobody would be like,
nobody would be like, okay,
or anything. And honestly, I think it does. Like, I look at Sasha Banks as an example. Like, she was going. She took those few months off, came back, and I feel like it did wonders for her. Yeah. Like, she was rejuvenated. I think it's good. Like, Asuka needs it.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, like because they're
all the time.
I feel like rest is well deserved for her.
Agreed. Yeah, that's my girl. She needs to get a nice, bubble bath and just look at all her accolades.
Like, food and she's putting it on YouTube because I like her food channel.
Yeah, she's
her YouTube channel is so cute.
It is like between her, and it's funny because between her and Sheamus's workout thing, that got me through the pandemic. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, he's sitting there doing Celtic Warrior, whatever, and sparring and going to the gym with Edge, and I'm just like, I'm into this.
Yeah,
like
I love that.
So lazy.
And I'm glad that you said what you said about just like them continuing to wrestle during pandemic because it truly like being able to watch Raw and SmackDown in 2020 like kept the normalcy of life for me because everything else was not normal, but like wrestling came on every week, so that was normal. But I do want to wrap up because I know Super Bowl is happening at some point, I guess. I don't watch sports. Yes. But I want to thank you so much for joining us, and shout out to Krista B and Mimi who was able to pop in. So we are going to start doing a monthly recap show. It'll be a little shorter next time. But this was kind of like an experiment. So thank you to everyone that's tuning in. That's in the comments. Hanaya, Nike 316 on YouTube. You guys, Mike, are always tuning in. We really appreciate it. But I do want to give the floor to Damien, because we have been wanting to collaborate for so long. We watch women's wrestling. Please subscribe on YouTube and Instagram. There's dope content everywhere. So please, let everyone know where to find We Watch Wrestling, women's wrestling.
Yes. We watch women's wrestling. This has been so fun today. It's been great. I love it. I can't wait to do it again. Yeah, follow We Watch Women's Wrestling on Instagram at We Watch Women's Wrestling, and follow us on YouTube. Currently, we are like dishing out. We're ranking every single women's match in the 90s, starting with 98. And we did all of 98, and now we're on 99, and there's 2 parts. There's 3 parts in the entire 99, but we've already put out the first 2 parts. The third part will be out soon. And it's such a freaking wild, fun ride. Like going back and seeing like all the old girls, like in Mae Young and Moolah and Ivory and China. 99 is like an iconic year because you have a blend of the Chinas, the Jacquelines, the Ivories, like the wrestlers, and you have the Debras, the Cats, and the Sables. And it's like this. It's like where the revolution began. So check that out. And yeah, I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to get just different opinions and voices on here, and just spreading the love in the women's wrestling community.
Yes, and shout out to Nike 316. This is what they put in the comments, and I was like, oh, that is like really, really sweet, because I could care less about the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Who said that? Just cooking. Like everybody was like, oh, this terms for Super Bowl. I'm like, oh, that's today.
Oh, okay. Yes. So if you don't watch football like we don't, I would definitely check out the series that is on your channel, because you're so fun. Oh my God, you're so funny. It's so entertaining. Shout out to Mimi who was here earlier. So we're gonna have a series of panelists on this show. So Audrey and Ciendol, we've been meaning to do a lot together too. So do you guys want to just do a quick little outro, and then we'll end this?
I can't wait to teach Pat how to do more TikToks, because she's going to be the TikTok queen. I'm trying to get her into the wrestling TikTok fold, just so we can get that exposure back out there, because wrestling is interesting. I don't care what anybody says.
Right.
I don't care how old you are. There are men that are 50 that are just like, oh, you watch Raw? Did you watch? I'm like, this is going to be a genre that never dies. Because it excites me that not only is there WWE wrestling now, like AEW is slowly doing its thing, because they're also merging with all the other promotions, which is something I know I told Pat that I would love to talk to her more about. And then there's other promotions too. Like I want to do throwbacks of like Shimmer. Like I don't care. I'm a Shimmer.
Yes.
Do watch-alongs, because I got the idea when Damien said that he didn't watch TNA. I didn't watch any of TNA, and I'm a WWE like loyalist almost. But I would love to watch some of that stuff like with all of you. That would be like so fun.
I feel like that would be fun, because even like all the people, and it's like you have to give credit where it's due. The Ruby Riott. Mind you, I told my brother was like, isn't that like when he saw Becky Lynch on WWE, he was like, didn't we see her at a Shimmer show back in Union City? I said, that's Rebecca freaking Knox. Like, how do you just not know that that's who's who? And she was like escorting like Paige's mom, and Paige was in it too. And they had like a really big match. Like Shimmer to me is we
gotta do some Shimmer
crossing underneath the take of women's wrestling. And I feel like I would love to do that type of recap. Hopefully I get some like more of my material together, so that we can do like a throwback, like who was who before they were in WWE, because it's all out there.
That would be really cool, actually. That's a really good idea. So Audrey, you've been working on your art a little bit more. Where can people find you?
Yes. Well, my art Instagram is Audrey Kinrana. That is a play on of my name and the wrestling move, the Hurricanrana. My personal Instagram is Audrey Padre, and that is the same @ for my Twitter account. for my art account, I'm trying to put more wrestling art on there. I've got some Star Wars stuff on there too, but I'm trying to get more on there now. I'm trying to explore more with my art style and stuff. So, yep.
I love it. I love it. And again, thank you everyone who tuned in. Playback will be available on our Patreon. We're also streaming live from We Watch Women's Wrestling's YouTube channel. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining me so much. And yeah, so this was, did we decide on what we want to call this? We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We figured it out along the way.
It was a good time, is what it was.
It was
Let's just call it there a good time.
A good time. Yes.
Lovely
Thank
speaking
you
with all
guys.
of you.
Lovely, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, it was nice meeting you guys.
Yes. Until next time.
Until next time.
And thank you so much for inviting.